to rumble. Well, the weather may be gloomy and glum outside, but it still means it is basketball weather here in the Hoosier State. You're looking live at South Putnam Gymnasium here in the southern part of Putnam County as we get set for the county rivalry and a doubleheader as the South Putnam Lady Eagles get set to take on the Lady Cougars of North Putnam. Good evening, everybody. Alongside Bill Fenlon, I'm Kurt Darling. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Endeavor Communications. Internet speeds up to a gig. Learn more at weendeavor.com. Bill, good to be with you here. And of course, we did this doubleheader last year up at North Putnam. Good to be back with you here for another iteration of this county rivalry here on the southern part of the county.
Good to see you, Kurt, as well. You know, I'm a guy who lived in this county for 30 years, and we've got a couple. They're about halfway. They're probably about a third of the way through the season right now. And both teams hovering around the 500 mark. But none of that really matters because it's an inter-county game, and it's for bragging rights at the Dairy Castle, baby.
Indeed it is. Of course, North Putnam and South Putnam have had a long history together. South Putnam leads this series overall as far as the girls' side is concerned, 23-11 over the last 20 years. The last time these two teams met, as I mentioned, in this iteration of this doubleheader a season ago, back on November 18th of 2022, that was a 49-32 win for the Eagles. North Putnam has not won since the Putnam County tournament last year. That was a 52-36 win over South Putnam. But still, bottom line is this. You mentioned it. It is a rivalry, so regardless of how the momentum goes in and out of a season based on who you're playing, it's your county rivalry. There's a lot on the line, including just straight-up bragging rights.
Yeah, man. These kids know each other. They hang out in the same places. They've got mutual friends. It's always good to win this one.
Indeed it is. South Putnam under the tutelage of Brian Gardner. He is in his 9th season as the head coach of the Eagles. He is 118-77 in that span. The Lady Cougars, on the other hand, under a little bit of some change, as we mentioned. Of course, Curtis Lawrence is back as the head coach. For the first time since 2013, he stepped aside after coaching the Lady Cougars for 2 years and then has come back here, was back as an assistant under head coach Craig Franklin. Craig Franklin resigned at the end of last season. Curtis Lawrence has now stepped up into that role, and it will certainly be a good one to see how he has been able to move back in to that head coaching role. Before we go any further, we will go ahead and take a timeout. When we come back, we will have the starters and the tip-off getting set to go right here on the ISC Sports Network.
Food, shelter, fast Wi-Fi. It's all we really need. Good thing Endeavor has the fast, reliable internet it takes to power all the Wi-Fi hungry gadgets in your home. All at once. With speeds up to 10 gig, get smooth HD streaming video, gaming, music, and surfing, all with no waiting, no buffering, no kidding. Call or click weendeavor.com and upgrade to Indiana's fastest internet today.
Welcome back inside of South Putnam High School here on the ISC Sports Network as we get set for the first of 2 games on the docket here this evening. It is a girls-boys doubleheader between North Putnam and South Putnam. And Coach Bill Finland will alongside with me. I'm Kurt Darling. You know, Bill, I was just kind of, as I was preparing for this game, for here on Friday night. You know, there are a lot of different ways that there are big county rivalries that happen between schools all over the state. I can't think of a better way than to tackle both the girls and the boys in a doubleheader as we take a look at the North Putnam starting lineups.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a really fun night. They'll probably have a really nice crowd in here, people from all over the county. This is an interesting county because it's not huge, but there are 4 high schools in this county, and they all have cross rivalry games, and the kids are able to really kind of get on each other in the off season about, you know, who's the king of the hill.
Of course, you talk
queen of
the queen of the hill. Exactly. Of course, you talk about Cloverdale as well as Greencastle, along with North Putnam and South Putnam. You see 2 of those high schools here tonight, and now we see the starters here for South Putnam. Of course, again, under head coach Curtis Lawrence are the Eagles, or rather, Brian Gardner, excuse me, are the Eagles this season. One player to watch out for is definitely going to be Clara Pestarelli. She's averaging 10 points per contest. She is the leading scorer for South Putnam this season. And of course, as we were talking a little bit about this doubleheader as well, we also want to mention as well on the other side for North Putnam, Rose Haste. She is going to be one to watch as well. She is one of the leading scorers, but also Lexi Daigle, 12 points per contest along with 4 rebounds. She had 19 points in their matchup against Cloverdale just a couple of days ago. So, Bill, as you look at how these 2 teams match up on paper, what is the couple of things you're really going to be looking for as we get into this contest?
To me, I think these games always are determined by the extra possession battle. And what I mean by that is if you can win the turnover battle, those are extra possessions for you. If you can get and be significant on the offensive glass, those are extra possessions for you. And you've got 2 teams that are both shooting in the 30s from a percentage standpoint. There's going to be opportunity for extra possessions, and it's just going to be about who's able to gobble those up and have more cracks at it at the end of the night that'll probably determine the winner.
That'll certainly be something to watch as well. The first of 2 games on the docket this evening. We're underway here in the girls' matchup of this North Putnam-South Putnam rivalry. And already it's Lila Rissler getting things going up top for South Putnam. And moving down the lane is Rissler. And bringing it up here is Klein. And now, of course, Drew Gardner as well. So kind of feeling things out here are the Eagles here in the early going. Pistarelli, you're going to be seeing a lot of her this evening. Gardner tries to move down the lane. Nothing there. Rissler along the baseline. Goes up, nothing. And a rebound comes up here for North Putnam. So here's Lexi Daigle. As I mentioned, 12 points per contest for her this season. She'll be getting a lot of touches as she does. Going up top that time was Jasmine Duval, the sophomore, and couldn't quite find the rim that time. So both teams coming up empty here on their first couple possessions.
Looked like North Putt was in a zone that first possession. We'll see if that's something that continues tonight.
Outside again, Gardner goes along the baseline, touches the back part of the rim, and again off the mark. Screaming up the court this time comes Daigle. And here is Addie Osborne, one of the many seniors on this Cougars squad so far this year. Haste goes into the corner this time to Duval. Tries to find a lane. Backdoor underneath to Daigle. And the loose ball fought for. And it's going to be a jump ball on the floor, rather. And the possession arrow is going to favor North Putnam.
Yeah, South Putt in a 2-3 zone to begin both of the first 2 possessions. So we'll see if they're able to, if that's something that they're going to want to stay with the rest of the night.
Certainly going to try and force North Putnam to shoot in that regard, as a 3 goes up from Haley Daigle right there. Well, if you're going to make them shoot, North Putnam's going to try and make them.
You want to get a hand up. It looked like that was a little bit of a poor decision to try to steal a ball, put everybody in a tough rotation, and she was able to knock that.
The first of the quarter, we can take this opportunity to highlight the new rule change in the IHSAA this season. No more 1-and-1. At 5 fouls, the team that gets fouled will get 2 shots all the way to the end. There is no more 1-and-1 bonus, as there's a big 3 to answer from South Putnam. That is Lila Rissler.
North Putt in a little bit of a full court pressure right there and didn't scramble out of it. Left Rissler open in the corner for that wide open three, and she knocked it down.
South Putnam sticking with this zone defense as both teams are going to try and load it up from deep a lot in that regard, as Osborne can't connect from deep, but it goes out of bounds and it stays here with the Cougars. One of the things that North Putnam head coach Curtis Lawrence certainly wants his team to do is to just compete this season. If they can compete, they can certainly come away with some good results. Inside this time goes Daigle, spinning around off the glass.
Good post move, and a great way to attack that zone is put it on the interior and see how the defense reacts.
Quick moving game in spite of the fact we've only put up 8 points completely so far here, as South Putnam keeps moving with the ball. Down the lane that time running goes Klein, and that goes way off the glass. Looking inside again, poked out that time by Gardner. Fast break attempt this time, Klein again. This time still can't get that one to go. On the follow-up, there is Madison Gardner, and she will go to the line. And so that'll be a foul coming up here on Addie Osborne. That is her first and already the second of the quarter here for North Putnam. So Madison Gardner only shooting about 33% from the foul stripe this season. She knocks down that one. Not a lot of shooting. She does a lot of post play, as she has a 61% field goal percentage. So she gets a lot of shots down low.
Yeah, you know what? That's surprising. She has a pretty good looking stroke there from the free throw line, and knocked those two down to belie that 30% or 30+% free throw percentage.
She makes both foul shots. We're knotted up at 5 apiece here halfway through quarter number 1. Loose ball again. It's right at midcourt, and the Eagles come away with it and trying to go up for another shot again. This time was Pistorelli, and she will go to the line. So the Eagles forcing the Cougars into some early foul trouble here in this one.
Turnovers, turnovers, turnovers. Gonna get you every time.
And that's already number 2 on Addie Osborne. So certainly may have to come out of the ball game for the time being here if you're head coach Curtis Lawrence.
Wholesale substitutions. They got 5 coming in.
So we're going to do a line, what equates to a hockey line change here for most of these squads here, as we'll see a couple more come in, including Lily Emmerich here for South Putnam, along with Emma Wells. 1 freshman, 1 junior. 1 of 2 that time. It goes Pistorelli. Once again, trying to navigate this zone here is North Putnam. Some movement that time there by J.C. Huffman, who's coming off the bench. Looking into the lane this time is Melanie Davies. From the elbow, gets that one to go, does Lexi Daigle. 4 quick points here for Daigle, and she'll go to the line for the and 1.
And both of those buckets she got were off moves on the interior against the zone.
So again, Lexi Daigle, we've talked about her a little bit already. Averaging 12 points per contest. She's shooting 50% from the line this season, and she's able to try and get that one in. So just under 4 to go here in quarter number 1. It's still both of these teams kind of feeling each other out. And this might be the first of what could be 2 meetings this season between these 2 squads. They always could possibly meet up in the county tournament as well, depending on how things shake out. Here's Haley Daigle along the baseline. And a traveling violation here on Sammy Hoops. Another one of the players that Coach Lawrence certainly likes to rely on, and it's another turnover here for North Putt. Danae Klein, the sophomore, averaging 17.5 a contest. Gardner up top trying to get it back into Klein once again, And back-to-back turnovers here for both of these squads. And you touched on it, Coach. Turnovers, they can be a backbreaker for you.
Turnovers kill, Kurt, and especially ones like that are pretty much unforced. Just can't give it away.
Davies up top to Daigle. And back up again, Daigle trying to work here on Klein. Left open, oh, but she juggled it, did Huffman. That was a wide open three ball. That certainly was a big opportunity for North Putnam, and that results in a turnover with a traveling violation.
Huffman was ready to load that three up. She was open and started to sight the basket before she ever caught the basketball.
Of course, one of those things you always, it's kind of the thing you see in football as well. Obviously, catch the ball before you look upfield. Kind of a similar situation right there.
There is a, you can't assume that you're going to grab it. You got to look it into your hands, as elementary as that seems.
Three ball on the way. High stroking shot that time from Gardner is off the mark. Loose ball and diving for it that time is Daigle. You certainly like the hustle from that young lady. Goes out of bounds, but stays with South Putnam. So Duval will come back in after taking a quick respite here for South Putnam. Working around the horn here, South Putnam trying to get Gardner open that time. She goes along the baseline.
Great take. She had her in a long closeout there, showed the shot, and was able to get all the way to the rim. Great play.
North Putnam 5-4 on the year, just flirting around that 500 mark as the shot goes up by Davies. And on the baseline for the rebound is Gardner. It stays here with North Putnam. And North Putnam had a loss to Southmont earlier, as we have a shot coming up off of the inbound that time. At that time it was Duval, and we get another foul coming up here. But that loss to Southmont was really kind of a backbreaker. It was only a 9-point loss to Southmont, but it was a game in which North Putnam committed 41 turnovers, Coach, and that's certainly
a bad number.
That's
Kurt.
a very bad number.
That's a bad number, no matter who you are, where you are, who's playing who. I did really like what North Putt did against the zone out of bounds under right there. They took the two people on the block and spread them out, and were allowed to, which allowed them to just dive somebody into the rim from the free throw line. Got 2 points out of it after the foul.
North Putnam now 2 of 3 at the line as they reclaim the lead. It's 9-8. We're with 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Feeding it down low. Blocked that time, though, by Duval as Gardner was trying to corral it. Still, South Putnam able to get back in transition quickly to set up that zone. Hoops above her head. Between her and Daigle, trying to leave it inside there for Duval. Duval has an opening from the elbow, and she knocks it down. Largest lead of the game for either team so far here at 3 points. Gardner back outside. Emmerich knocks down a corner three. And that ties it right back up at 11.
She was really shot ready right there. Able to just catch it in rhythm and knock that in.
Take a look at this again, wide open. Left her open did Sammy Hoops that time. Go. Nearly a jump ball. Actually, that is the jump. That is the call, a jump ball.
It's a jump ball.
So the arrow favors South Putnam as we go down the baseline with Gardner. But that'll bring us to the end of quarter number 1. It is tied at 11 points apiece here between these two squads from both ends of the county. Back in a moment here on ISC.
Irritated by your internet provider?
I'm
no
not.
fear.
Yeah, I can only keep track of so many.
Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Hey there, I'm Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
Derek, do you know what we do not have in common with Ted Lasso?
What's that, Jake?
We made it beyond 3 seasons.
Oh, we're going to make it like 30, 40, 50 seasons. As long as your heart holds out, that is. Query and Schultz every Tuesday night. You can watch it right here on the ISC Sports Network, on our YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, X, podcast, whatever it is. Just call it whatever you want.
Twitter doesn't exist.
Just make sure Tuesday nights, Query and Schultz, 7:30, all season long right here on the ISC Sports Network.
We outlasted Twitter.
We did.
Welcome back here to South Putnam High School here on the ISC Sports Network alongside Coach Bill Fenlon. I'm Kurt Darling. Coach, we're tied at 11, so now it's a 3-quarter ball game to say the least. What are your thoughts on that opening quarter?
Too many turnovers. I think both teams, luckily, they kind of counterbalanced each other. They just kept giving it away back and forth, and hence we've got an 11-point tie.
Got to make a quick correction on my part. These two teams having faced each other already in the county tournament. That was a loss for South Putnam in that regard back on November 18th, 49-32.
And this quarter starts the same way with back-to-back turnovers, one for each team.
And so here you have it.
15 seconds.
So if you're a coach, what do you tell your team to kind of mitigate those
turning it
turnovers?
over.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically that simple, right?
Stop throwing it to the other guy. It's there's not a secret. You just have to know what you're looking at.
And apparently
sometimes players are, and there's another one, and sometimes players are more interested in what they would like to see work than what actually will work. And I think figuring out how to balance those two things is the key to being a little more efficient. So you can get a shot up, right? You can't get shots if you turn it over.
An adjustment there by North Putnam, though, as they go with the full court press here in the early part of the second quarter. Shot from just inside the arc, that time from Lilo Rissler. Goes in and out of bounds, and it will stay here with South Putnam. And as I mentioned before, as we take a look at that shot again from Rissler, heck of an effort down low there by
took it to her strong hand, and you can see Rose has her hand on
So this is going to be against Melanie Davies of North Putnam. You take a look at that rebound that time from Gardner.
just beat her to the ball. No block out right there.
And both teams still have all 5 of their timeouts. Here's Danae Klein. Leaves it now for Emmerich. Into the corner. Off the foot, that time goes Gardner. That's actually Danae Klein, excuse me. And now off to Drew Gardner. There's 2 Gardners on the floor here with Madison and Drew. And South Putnam looking for their shot. They think they have it that time with Klein, and that goes off the back of the iron. North Putnam looking for a little bit of rhythm here. They have kind of lost it since the first quarter, as another turnover pays dividends this time for South Putnam. At least it could have. It goes off the iron again. With some help that time is Day, but she has to bring it back out in between the circles. Corner, 3 on the way from Daigle. That's short. So South Putnam kind of in the driver's seat of this one for now, as we have an offensive foul called on South Putnam, as I said. And now it'll be Madison Gardner picking up her first.
She got her. They got her for an illegal screen there. It looked to me like she might have been set, but I'm pretty far away.
So timeout on the floor. Today's game brought to you by Endeavor Communications, which thanks you for watching today's presentation of local high school hoops. We're proud to be a part of this event and wish all the athletes good luck during this competition. Together with our members, Endeavor Communications is committed to helping our local community thrive. For more information about the communities we serve and services we offer, visit weendeavor.com. Yet alongside Bill Fenlon, I'm Kurt Darling as we get the first time out of this contest here taken, this time by North Putnam. Probably a pretty timely timeout here if you're head coach Curtis Lawrence, to kind of settle your team down here, as North Putnam's really been able to kind of take control of this one, even though they only have about a 4-point lead.
Well, the Eagles have looked a little more settled this half. And they're staying in that 2-3 zone.
Day with the no-look pass this time to Davies, who's back into the ball game. Haley Daigle leaves it now for Day. And going out of bounds that time, another turnover by North Putnam. And if I have my math correct here, Bill, that's 3 straight turnovers on 3 straight possessions for North Putnam.
Which is 3 straight times you don't get a shot. So even if you're a 33% shooting team, that's a bucket you missed.
And now South Putnam trying to take advantage of those points off turnovers, as they say, as Rissler goes to the line after she can't connect on that shot.
Rissler did a great job right there of attacking the closeout. She showed the shot, which got the defender just off balance a little bit, and she really attacked her hip with a strong drive, got all the way to the rim. Probably could have finished that one off.
Rissler already with 4 points now off of that made foul shot. This is her first trip to the line here today. She's an 80% foul shooter, so she can certainly be reliable when you need it. And she knocks down both of them. So 5 points, and she's also a freshman who is really getting some big minutes this time here down low. 6-point lead here for South Putnam. They almost force, and they do force another turnover, but they turn it over right back to North Putnam as Sammy hoops it right to the rim and draws the foul. We take a look at this one again.
Just no reason to be in a big hurry to get rid of that basketball. I think sometimes there's when you rebound the basketball or come up with a loose ball, there's a tendency to treat it like a hot potato, and really there's no shot clock. Just cover it up, make sure you know what you're looking at so you can advance the ball up the floor. Another unforced error.
So North Putnam with that basket right there by Hoops, her first point of the ball game. That's also their first point in the last 4 minutes. They had not scored in this quarter until that very shot. Still a 5-point deficit here for the Cougars. Trying to work at that time here is Klein. Fires from inside the lane. And Klein gets her first bucket.
Good little pull-up right there. She's tried to go to that a couple of times already without any success, but if you don't succeed, Kurt.
Try again.
Try it again.
Mackenzie Mason, the junior, on the back door. She gets fouled, and she'll go to the line for the first time tonight.
Klein was on much better balance on that last drive.
Mackenzie Mason, one of the rare forwards on this North Putnam squad, which is made up of mostly guards. There are only 3 players that play as a forward on this roster here for head coach Curtis Lawrence.
I don't know what that means. That just means that they don't want to be called forwards, because that means they'll be too tall or too, it's just like they're going to put 5 guys out there, five kids out there, and if they're all guards, they're all guards. Somebody's going to have to guard a forward or a center.
Inside 4 minutes here as the freshman Rissler tries to wiggle her way inside, and it's going to be out of bounds. A forced turnover that time by J.C. Huffman. Actually, correction, that was Jasmine Duvall down low.
I know that my forwards always wanted to be called guards, so I get it.
It's almost like there's a stigma against forwards.
Yeah, they'd come out of high school and they'd be 6'4" or 6'5", and their dad told them they're supposed to be a guard, and so they like to call themselves a guard. And I'm like, fine, be a guard. Just play where I tell you to play.
On the sweep inside. Pull-up doesn't fall that time for Pastelli. Offensive rebound here, though, for South Putnam, only for a moment. And here's Duvall screaming down court, and it gets poked out of bounds by South Putnam. A few more substitutions here, as we'll see Huffman back into the ball game for North Putnam, and also Lexi Daigle. Wide open this time is Jenna Day. She leaves that one a little strong.
Left her open. Really good. Another good rebound by Rissler. Oh,
the
great
freshman
pass.
coming up big, and now that was a good pass and good execution by Drew Gardner, who knocks it down.
Really threaded the needle with that pass.
So South Putnam slowly pulling away here in this one. North Putnam moving the ball well here on this possession, trying to find their shot. Do they have it with Duvall? Almost, but still a follow-up that time by Jenna Day.
That was by far the best possession that North Put has had in this half. Easy passes, don't turn it over. Eventually the zone's not going to be able to shift to the ball, and you're going to leave somebody open. The other thing about that zone is, historically, zones are harder to rebound from. So they got snuck somebody in there to get an offensive rebound and get them a bucket.
That zone defense nearly worked right there for North Putnam, almost forcing a turnover. Instead, they're going to give a foul here to Jenna Day. That'll be her first. And now the 4th on North Putnam. So one more foul here by the Cougars could result in 2 foul shots for the remainder of the quarter here for South Putnam. Pastelli shuffles her feet a little bit too much that time, and another unforced turnover. So if you're North Putnam, you have an opportunity here to kind of reel this thing back in a little bit here in the latter moments of this second quarter. Euro step inside there by Duvall that time. Leaves the hook shot a little too strong. Pastelli quickly back up court. Rissler wisely kicks it back outside. And Amelia Wells can't knock down that shot from the elbow. between Daigle and Day right there for North Putnam. Poking it in, another turnover here by the Cougars.
I like the idea of trying to get it to the interior of the zone, but I think you've got to move the defense a little bit first. They were just kind of stacked up and ready for that.
Pastelli off the mark that time. 60 seconds left to go in quarter number 2 here in the first half. Long pass from Day that time. Back outside, 3 on the way from Duval. A big time tray there from Jasmine Duval.
Really good drive and pass by Huffman to the open player in the corner.
Take a look at this shot again here from Duval. There you had Lila Holderfield kind of leaving her player a little bit too much room right there.
You have 3 people trying to help on the drive that really is being driven into the cafeteria. Like, Huffman is not going to be able to score on that drive, so you can't commit 3 people to her. You've got to hold the fort in the area when you're playing zone, because you got to shoot her wide open in your corner.
Of course, for reference, the cafeteria is in the hallway immediately to the left on your screen as you look at the gym.
The brownies are really good.
The brownies are fantastic, by the way. They hooked us up with some great brownies here. Nice and moist and gooey, how I like them.
Really good. And you told me something I didn't know, because I didn't think there was a bad brownie.
Oh, there can be bad brownies,
you said there are bad brownies.
Oh, yes. If they're hard like cardboard, they're a bad brownie. Final 30 seconds here of the second. And South Putnam may try to hold for the last shot here.
That sounds like the kiss of death in this game.
Could be right there as Pastelli thinks better of it right there.
Good on-balance drive, under control.
Meanwhile, going a little out of control there is North Putnam, but still being aggressive in the latter moments of this second quarter. A couple shots don't fall. Pastelli doesn't quite get the shot off there from full court, and that brings us to the end of the first half here in this one. It's a great way to start this South Putnam, North Putnam doubleheader night. Boys and girls action here. Stick with us. It's halftime on the ISC Sports Network.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Food, shelter, fast Wi-Fi. It's all we really need. Good thing Endeavor has the fast, reliable internet it takes to power all the Wi-Fi hungry gadgets in your home. All at once. With speeds up to 10 gig, get smooth HD streaming video, gaming, music, and surfing, all with no waiting, no buffering, no kidding. Call or click WeEndeavor.com and upgrade to Indiana's fastest internet today.
Got fouled, got the dunk, got the poster, and gets the highlights. Now he takes the look away, and he puts it away.
Irritated by your internet provider? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eForce high-speed internet. Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit WeEndeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
It's halftime here at South Putnam High School, the site of the South Putnam-North Putnam doubleheader. It's certainly one of the most exciting times for basketball fans in Putnam County here this evening as these two county rivals go at each other here on the ISC Sports Network. We're in the middle of the girls' iteration of this contest here this evening alongside Coach Bill Fenlon. I'm Kurt Darling. Coach, well, we talked about it at the beginning of the game. Turnovers certainly hamper your performance. Well, that's certainly been on display one way or another for both of these squads here throughout this contest.
Well, you watch the game and you really get the feeling that if one of these teams can just string 8 to 10 possessions together without turning the ball over, they can take control of the basketball game. But that really hasn't happened through the first 2 quarters.
Of course, when you talk about control, though, South Putnam was able to gain at least some semblance of control there about midway through the second quarter when North Putnam couldn't get a shot to fall. They went 4 minutes without getting a shot.
Well, they turned it over a bunch, and there was a stretch where South Putt was not turning it over, getting shots and converting on a decent percentage of them. And so we'll have to see. Hopefully they'll get settled down a little bit in the locker room. I think some of it is, it's an exciting game, big game, rivalry game, and you want to make a play, and sometimes players want to do a little bit too much. You got to get your processor working. You can't be doing things that you're not able to do. A big part about being a good player is, knowing what your capabilities are, and more importantly, knowing what you can't do on a consistent basis.
And we'll take a look at some halftime highlights when we come back here on the ISC Sports Network.
Hey there, I'm Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
Derek, do you know what we do not have in common with Ted Lasso?
What's that, Jake?
We made it beyond 3 seasons.
Oh, we're going to make it like 30, 40, 50 seasons. As long as your heart holds out, that is. Query and Schultz every Tuesday night. You can watch it right here on the ISC Sports Network, on our YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, X, podcast, whatever it is. Just call it whatever you want.
Twitter doesn't exist.
Just make sure Tuesday nights, Query and Schultz, 7:30, all season long right here on the ISC Sports Network.
We outlasted Twitter.
We did.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
There is Athletic Director Troy Burgess here of South Putnam High School doing an excellent job of not only allowing us to come in here and broadcast today's doubleheader, but also making sure that this is a fun atmosphere for everyone who comes out here to watch some high school basketball here in Putnam County. Welcome back on the ISC Sports Network alongside Coach Bill Finland. I'm Kurt Darling. Coach, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at some highlights from that first half here. A couple of big shots here from North Putnam in the early going, but South Putnam really able to kind of get into their stride, especially off of some hot shooting from Lila Rissler, a freshman who's been able to get some good minutes here in this one.
You'll see that the North Putnam buckets all come off possessions where they just had a little more patience against the zone. And the South Putnam buckets really were on drives and kicks. And they were able to finish some of those drives. Another interior pass against the zone. They were able to finish some of those drives like this one. And they're able to get fouled quite a bit on those drives.
Indeed they were. In fact, so far here for South Putnam, they have gone 5 of 7 from the charity stripe here so far. And that's the difference in the lead right now here with 5 made foul shots. Of course, some hot shooting from outside as well. That was Lily Emmerich, the junior, coming off the bench.
Very often what you're going to see is, and there's a great drive by Pistelli, you're going to see that a lot of those open shots are a result of overhelping. So the ball starts to get driven. I'm going to leave my person and try to help, even if I'm not needed. They throw it back in behind me to the open player, and you can give up a lot of easy shots that way. So defensive decision making is a really important part about being efficient.
Pistelli also scoring, but also dropping dimes as well. She had that big thread-the-needle pass, as you mentioned it, to Drew Gardner there on that earlier highlight. Still, North Putnam, they've been able to at least keep it close to end the half. It was a big 3 there from Jasmine Duval. She has 7 points to lead all scorers here in this one so far for North Putnam. But Pistelli making things happen right there at the end, as you see head coach Curtis Lawrence talking up his squad there. What do you think he's telling his team in that huddle?
Don't turn it over.
Yeah, there you go. You didn't
Don't turn it over.
We're
going to be fine if we come down and our goal is to get a shot on every possession, right? There's no shot clock. If it takes a half an hour, let's just make sure we're getting a shot on every possession. My guess is there's some version of that is what he was telling me.
Meanwhile, if you're head coach Brian Gardner here for South Putnam, you have a 5-point lead. What do you tell your team to make sure you keep that 5-point lead, if not more?
Well, I think they want to continue to spread North Putt out, drive it for buckets in the lane, and drive it for kickouts for 3, because that's where their success has come.
So as we get close here to the start of the second half, it's going to be a South Putnam basketball here to start this second half. And with that, the halftime show brought to you by Endeavor Communications, which would like to say thanks for watching this annual early season tradition. We are proud to be a part of this local event and wish all the athletes good luck during this competition. Together with our members, Endeavor Communications is committed to helping our local community thrive. For more information about the communities we serve and services we offer, visit weendeavor.com. Well, Coach, you said don't turn the ball over. Well, we have a turnover nearly right there to start this second half. Still South Putnam basketball. It was touched out there by North Putnam, but still.
You were asking me about best case scenario, so I was just going best case scenario.
Well, there you have it.
You know, nobody's perfect.
Lila Rissler.
Whoops.
Luckily there, Klein was able to bail Rissler out as she couldn't quite come back with the ball that time. Kind of a bad pass from her teammate, but still, Rissler. Back up here to Klein again. Moving the basketball are the Eagles. Going along the baseline there is Gardner. She certainly loves that shot today. Comes up empty that time, but still the floater goes down there for Danae Klein.
That's the second one of those she's had. She likes that mid-lane floater in the lane, and when she gets to balance, she's pretty good at knocking it in.
She now has 4 points as South Putnam extends their lead to 7. Both these teams playing in the Western Indiana Conference. Got to remember, Even though these two teams have faced each other earlier this season in the county tournament, this is for the conference rather, as these teams shake out their conference position at the moment. North Putnam right now 1-0 in conference play, trying to stay undefeated are they, but right now down 7. South Putnam 500 in conference play, though. They have wins over Greencastle, but they also have a loss to Park Heritage, who has certainly been one of the up-and-coming basketball programs, both boys and girls, here in the western part of the state over the last few years, ever since Rockville and Turkey Run consolidated a few years ago.
I guess I didn't know that.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So Rockville no longer rocks?
Yeah, Rockville rocks within Park Heritage now, along with the running turkeys of Turkey Run. So that has been a thing now in Park Heritage. The boys team actually made it to a state championship and unfortunately came up short in the 2A state championship a couple years ago. So that not even a few years after consolidating, they made it to a state championship tournament. Ball goes out of bounds.
What was Park Heritage before?
Park Heritage was Turkey Run and Rockville, and then they consolidated a couple years ago.
There was another little school right up there.
Yes, there.
What was it?
I can't quite. As far as I know, it was only Park Heritage and Turkey Run consolidating in Park County. There's also Riverton Park.
Riverton Park.
But that is, of course, there's Riverton Park, but they are still a school of their own.
One of the best players I ever had at DePauw was Jeremy Bettis, who was a great player at Riverton Park.
Here are the Eagles again, moving down court. Both these teams kind of trading baskets over the last 3 minutes. Finally getting it to knock down that time was Madison Gardner.
Transition right there. Got 2 good shots in transition. North Putt not back, not ready, not matched up.
And Duval is able to counter right there. She now has 9 points to lead all scorers.
Oh, good pass.
Wide open that time was Gardner, the sophomore, but she can't convert from point-blank range. Extended zone here from South Putnam. Again, trying to force the Cougars to shoot. From the corner that time was Duval again, nothing doing. In and out. Pistelli will draw the blocking foul.
She really did. That was a good way to put it, because she really did draw that foul. I don't think she was already behind the backboard. She really didn't have much of a chance to convert that, but she kind of threw herself into the body of the defender and forced the official to make a call. That is a pretty heady play by the junior.
Meanwhile, Pistelli now is only 1 of 4 at the line today, so she is struggling in that regard. She's a 56% foul shooter, but she's able to knock down the back end. So 6 points for her now off of that one. Tipped up, and a good defensive play there by Pistelli, and she comes away with the steal and lays it up and in.
Yeah, that's a huge play. Not only do you turn it over, but it leads directly to a bucket, and those buckets are not that easy to come by.
Full timeout on the court. We'll take one with them. North Putnam trailing South Putnam here on the ISC Sports Network. Endeavor Communications would like to wish both of tonight's teams good luck in this upcoming season. Together with our members, Endeavor Communications is committed to helping our local community thrive. For more information about the communities we serve and services we offer, visit weendeavor.com. There you see Clara Pistelli, who has had a good run so far here over the last couple of minutes or so. That was a good shot that time by Klein, but Pistelli coming away with this big steal to force a timeout here for North Putnam.
She's really had a big impact on this game in a lot of different ways, not just scoring the ball. Very active defender, pretty good ball handler.
Danae Klein comes away with it as North Putnam going to put a little pressure this time on the transition of South Putnam. Here's Gardner with it, leaves it now for Klein, who pulls up at the elbow.
There's Klein.
Another one.
She the first time she touched it on that possession, she was looking for an opportunity to drive it in for that pull-up, and she got that opportunity the second time and cashed in on it.
So far, it is a 7-2 run here out of the half for South Putnam. It is a 12-point advantage, the largest lead of the game here for the Eagles. Here's Duvall trying to cut back into that lead. The bank is open for her. Duvall now with 11 points to lead all scorers here in this contest. Duvall had a season-high 22 points against Eminence earlier this season. Dangerous pass back up top and a turnover only for the moment, and they're going to get a foul coming up on the Eagles, as you saw Lily Emmerich trying to make up for that turnover right there, getting the steal.
Looked like there were 3 turnovers in about 6 seconds right there.
And that's
which
now,
I'm sure is not a record, but it's got to be close.
Certainly a lot, as now you have 3 fouls here for Lily Emmerich, so she comes out of the ball game. And now South Putnam really stretching that zone defense out on the perimeter. Back up top, here comes Daigle. Duvall loads it up from deep again. Jasmine Duvall has certainly been keeping the Cougars within striking distance here in this one.
Again, that is a great possession. The ball touched 4 different players' hands. Nobody tried to make a pass that was impossible, and it winds up with an open 3. That's how you're going to get back in the game.
Duvall has scored all 7 of North Putnam's points here in this second half. A steal this time, though, by South Put again. And it's touched out of bounds by the Cougars.
Again, they're trying to force the issue on the first side of the floor. They're so much more efficient when the ball is getting moved side to side. It's touching multiple sides of the floor, multiple players' hands. And you just can't turn it over trying to make magic on the first side of the floor.
Approaching the final 2 minutes here in the third. Wells tries to turn the corner, leaves it for Pistelli, back out to Wells again. And a 3-second violation. Turnover away from the ball, to say the least, on that one.
You know, that's they have to call that. I think the Officials Association says they have to call that a half a dozen times a year, whether you need it or not. You rarely see 3 seconds called anymore.
So what you're saying, there's a quota for 3 seconds.
It seems like there is.
Either way, it results in a turnover here, in North Putnam trying to keep on a little bit of a run here to cut into this lead of South Putnam's. They led by as many as 12. It's now a 7-point advantage, as there's a foul here on South Putnam.
The 3-second call is usually just a parental scream from the stands. That's one of the multiple things they like to say. 3 seconds, call it both ways.
I think over the back as well.
Over the back
is another popular one as well. Yeah. Of course, all in jest, we certainly appreciate the effort of IHSAA officials to come out here and do these games. There's an official shortage that the IHSAA is still dealing with, so certainly have started a lot of different initiatives to get more people involved in officiating. Here's Pastelli, and she'll go back to the line. And Pastelli just going right in on that.
Yep,
It's going to be.
She's got a knack.
And the freshman Lila Rissler will check back in here at this dead ball. Just touched off the hands that time of Madison Gardner. Into the final 65 seconds here of the third. Turning inside is Gardner, and she walked just there in the lane as she was trying to get it back outside. Good pass, though, as Rissler was wide open there for a shot.
Yeah, that little weave is creating some opportunity for them.
So far,
the defender kind of reached in and grabbed the basketball a little bit, and that's what forced the travel.
So far for South Putnam, again, they're on a 4-game winning streak coming into tonight's contest at 6-2 on the year. Certainly off to a better start than last year are the Eagles, in which they were 500 at this juncture. Coach Brian Gardner kind of rebuilding things back up into a competitive team here in Putnam County. As Hoops goes a little long that time, it goes out of bounds. Another thing to mention here too for South Putnam, this is going to be the 7th home game. They have a favorable run here to start things off here in this first part of the season, where they're playing a majority of their games right here at their home court.
The friendly confines. Good scheduling.
Final 30 seconds here for North Putnam. 3 on the way from Daigle, and she hits.
You know what happened on that possession, Kurt?
What happened?
They didn't turn it over. The ball touched multiple people, and they ended up with a wide open 3 that they made.
And now it's back to a 5-point deficit, which is exactly where we started this quarter. As Gardner can't hit it from point blank again. Less than a second, and Daigle's just going to dribble it out and bring us to the end of the third quarter. 33-28, the Eagles all over the Cougars here in this county rivalry. Back in a moment here on ISC.
Food, shelter, fast Wi-Fi. It's all we really need. Good thing Endeavor has the fast, reliable internet it takes to power all the Wi-Fi hungry gadgets in your home. All at once. With speeds up to 10 gig, get smooth HD streaming video, gaming, music, and surfing, all with no waiting, no buffering, no kidding. Call or click WeEndeavor.com and upgrade to Indiana's fastest internet today.
And gets the highlights. Now he takes the look away, and he puts it away.
Well, the student section certainly is ever creative as always here at South Putnam. Don't exactly know what he's dressed up as right there, but it looks like it's a blackout here for South Putnam as they get set for the boys game coming up here in just a little bit here on ISC. But right now, we are entering the 4th and final quarter of the girls' iteration of this county rivalry between South Putnam and North Putnam, alongside Coach Bill Finland. I'm Kurt Darling, Coach. One final quarter to do it, and it was an 8-1 run for North Putnam to close out that third quarter.
Why did they get that 8-1 run? They didn't turn it over. They had some more efficient offensive possessions, and that's their chance.
Of course, as you say it right there, Coach, North Putnam turns it over, but still applying some pressure as the Eagles bring it up court.
Well, she had it about 6 feet away from the basket and was insistent on trying to get it 3 feet away from the basket, and there's usually a lot of arms and hands in the way.
Here is Drew Gardner. She hooks it inside, back out again.
There she is, Klein.
Floater there for Klein, a little short.
Got to that floater again.
So it certainly hasn't been without a fight here for North Putnam. They have trailed the whole game except for maybe a brief 1-point lead at the beginning of the contest. But it has been all South Putnam here as the Eagles will commit another foul, putting North Putnam back at the line. And this time it'll be Lexi Daigle, who shoots 50% on the year. We also haven't really been able to say her name an awful lot tonight. She has 5 points, all of which scored in the first quarter until that very bucket right there broke that stalemate. She's their leading scorer, and South Putnam has been able to hold her in check pretty much all night long.
They haven't had enough possessions where the ball's going to work its way around to it. Just a little impatient, and hopefully they can break that impatient streak here to end the basketball game.
North Putnam has had to compensate with the play of Jasmine Duval, who leads all scorers tonight so far with 11 points. Pastelli with a shot from the elbow off the mark. Again, extended zone defense here from the Eagles. Still finding an opening. That time was Rose Haste, and she can't connect. Streaking down the court again is Rissler, and she'll draw a foul. Actually goes out of bounds, excuse me, but it will stay with the Eagles.
I don't know.
That was certainly a back and forth call right there.
I wouldn't have been surprised if he called a foul, but since he didn't, pretty sure Rissler threw that one out of bounds.
Inbound, back out this time. Gardner just short off the back of the iron. Haste again. We haven't said her name an awful lot tonight. One of the better scorers as well for North Putnam, averaging 6 a contest, but Haste, by my count, still has yet to get a bucket as we get a look at this drive again here from Daigle. So Daigle having to work at the foul stripe here. But just like that here, Coach, it's a 2-point ball game, and North Putnam has done it all at the foul line.
In a hurry. In a hurry.
So Daigle with some clutch foul shooting. She is 5 for 5 at the line today. South Putnam led this game by as many as 12 points. North Putnam has crawled back into this one, but there is the freshman Rissler, able to keep the Cougars at least at arm's length.
Who says it's a big rivalry game? Rissler just stroking that ball in.
Loose ball on the court, and the jump ball is called, the arrow favoring South Putnam. Either way, then it's a big shot to cut it in.
And she looked good doing it. That looks like people are going to watch her knocking in buckets here for the next 4 years, because she's playing a lot right now as a freshman, and certainly only going to get better.
And certainly from a coaching perspective, what's it like knowing you have a freshman with that kind of talent that you can build on over the next 4 years?
You start getting her more shots right now. Anybody that shoots it right there, you know, I wouldn't wait till she was a junior. I'd start getting her shots right now.
Here's Pastelli. Runs into some traffic from just inside the arc. A big shot that time from another freshman. That's Amelia Wells. Again, only a 2-point basket that time. Ooh, and just an awkward shot there from North Putnam.
That's the kind of shot you take when you're running out of time. She's just got to hang on to that and live to fight another day.
Rissler thought about it from deep again, but there's a scoop and score off the glass, that time from Lily Emmerich.
Looks like South Putt is going to, at least for now, weathering that run by North Putt.
But still, Daigle has been getting to the line. This is the third time now that she'll be at the charity stripe in this quarter, and she's 4 for 4 in this quarter.
Yeah, if you're South Putt, you want to make them earn. You want to make them earn their way back from the field. You don't want to keep putting them on the free throw line.
North Putnam has not hit a field goal yet in this fourth quarter. Still, Daigle now 7 for 7 overall on the night. And it's back to a 5-point game. Emmerich looks for an opening here too. And back up to Pastelli, who goes into a whole lot of traffic, throws it up, and leaves it short. It goes out of bounds off of the Eagles. Pastelli certainly plays with a lot of aggressiveness, not afraid to get inside there and get dirty.
She's a physical, tough, aggressive player.
As she commands that high post there in this zone defense for the Eagles. Corner outside to Duval, and she is still hot from behind the arc.
Ball touched 4 sides of the floor. Nobody tried to thread any needles. Wide open 3.
That is her third three-pointer made here today, and a full timeout going to be taken by South Putnam. We'll be back in a moment here on the ISC Sports Network. Jasmine Duval getting it done for North Putt.
Irritated by your internet provider? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eForce high-speed internet. Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Some enthusiastic cheer sections here getting us ready for the boys game here, but still moving through the girls game of the South Putnam-North Putnam County rivalry here on the ISC Sports Network. Alongside Bill Fenlon, I'm Kurt Darling. Coach, it's a 2-point ball game. North Putnam, they've made a lot of mistakes in this contest, but still they have kept right with the Eagles here in this.
They've stayed with it, and now it'll be interesting to see how South Putt reacts, because you know, a lot of times when you think you have a game under control and then all of a sudden it doesn't feel like it anymore, you can start to get a little bit of the yips, and let's see how South Putt reacts to the run that North Putt has kind of put on them, and they put that run on them from the foul line, so it's a little bit of their own making.
6 points from Daigle, and then 3 points from the field from Duval. Accounts for all 9 points that have been scored here in North Putnam in this fourth quarter. Meanwhile, South Putnam kind of put on their heels here on this possession as the Cougars are really ramping up this defense. Looking inside, nearly turned over. Klein comes away with it. Klein, though, has an opening, and she draws a foul on Duval. How about that awareness there from Klein?
Yeah, she just took it right at her. And she really likes to drive it into that mid-range. And that time it was the same thing. She kind of was underneath the backboard. Not sure she was actually going to have a chance to finish that off, but she kind of threw herself into the body of the defender and forced the official to make a call.
Now, with how North Putnam has been able to battle in this one and keep it close, if you're South Putnam, any free throw you have available, you want to make it at this juncture.
You want to cash that. You want to cash in.
And Klein only goes 1 of 2 on that trip. Still a 1-possession game here for North Putnam. South Putnam beat North Putnam handedly in the county tournament earlier this year. 49-32, the final score in that one. A much closer game here of the conference variety as Daigle can't connect there on the hook shot. And a big rebound comes away there for South Putt. Up top, Pastelli open for a three, and that is a clutch shot right there from the junior guard.
That was a big shot for them. Give them a little bit of breathing room.
And now a foul coming back the other way.
I'm wondering how they'd react, and they coming out of that timeout, and they react with 2 big buckets. Or actually a drawn foul.
Called here in this one as we take a look at this shot again from Pastelli. As you said, that 1-foot hop.
Tough.
So while we have a moment, Endeavor Communications would like to say good luck to both North and South Putnam for the rest of the season, as we are proud to be a part of this local event together with our members. Endeavor Communications is committed to helping our local community thrive. For more information about the communities we serve and services we offer, visit weendeavor.com. So 2 minutes to go here in this one, Coach. It's back to an 8-point advantage for South Putnam. The Eagles have been punched in the mouth here throughout the entirety of this second half here, but North Putnam, as we talked about, turnovers still being a big factor in how they can try and get back in this.
North Putt they're very close to losing their margin for error here. A couple more turnovers, and it's going to be really difficult for them to get back in.
There's a good hook shot along the baseline there from Rose Haste. And that is her first bucket of the evening. Rissler up top, tries to drive along the side of the key, nothing there. Goes out of bounds, and that's off of North Putnam. Certainly like the effort of Lila Rissler tonight, as we talked about before, a freshman. Turning in some excellent minutes here today. Only has 7 points, but they have certainly come in big situations. Final 90 seconds here of this one as South Putnam tries to put it away, and they'll have to do it at the charity stripe as Drew Gardner will go to the line for the first time.
If you're South Putt, you're at the point where you really don't have to be in a hurry to get a shot on.
And still, South Putnam struggling at the line today. But on the back half there is Gardner. That gives her 3 on the night. Nearly turned over in transition again here by North Putnam. The Cougars off kilter now here as you said, Coach, their margin for error pretty much gone now with the 70 seconds left.
Well, every time you throw it to the other team, you got a bigger and bigger problem. And now they've got to determine whether they're going to play the foul game or just play it out, because it looks like South Putt's going to try to take the air out of it here.
So South Putnam going to keep on moving here. As the clock continues to wind down, a foul is finally committed by North Putnam.
Yeah, I think if you're going to foul, you got to decide whether you're going to do it or not. And you can't let 20 seconds burn off the clock when it's clear they don't have an intention of shooting it.
Pastelli puts that over the defender, and on the offensive rebound is Gardner.
Although they shoot it right off the first pass out of the side out.
Along the baseline there goes Davies. Nothing doing, and Rissler will try to work it up court, nearly loses the handle, and it goes out of bounds. They're going to say there was a timeout called here by South Putnam.
That's interesting because I don't think Rissler had full control of that ball right there, which means you really can't take a timeout.
Depends on when they interpret she lost possession. Either way, they say a timeout is called here by South Putnam. Looking ahead now here for the Eagles. As things stand now for the final 25 seconds, they have a 7-point advantage. Could likely be their 5th win in a row as they move on to face Brown County and Clay City in their next couple of games as they go through a busy month of December, where they will play 7 games in 20 days before taking Christmas break.
That's NBA. That's NBA schedule right there.
It certainly is there. But the good thing for South Putnam, though, only one of those games is on the road. That's against Greencastle.
When the NBA does it, though, they don't play all their guys. It's rest guys.
Now a foul going the other way here. So this will put South Putnam back at the line. Meanwhile, for North Putnam, as they try to lick their wounds from this one, came off a win against Cloverdale just a couple of days ago. They have a much tougher schedule. They will be going on the road. This is the first of a 3-game road stand for North Putnam as they will go up face Edgewood as well as Sullivan. Both of those games, critical conference games that they will have to play as they sit 3rd in the conference here in the early going of conference play this season. So here's Pastelli at the line again.
She's had a great game. She may be the difference maker in this game tonight.
And Pastelli will knock down that first foul shot. And she knocks down the second one as well. So Clara Pastelli, she only had 5 points in that first half, but she has accounted for most of the game, the points here in the second half for South Putnam. And 10 seconds left to go. Another foul as North Putnam will keep things moving. So here's Lila Rissler again. And as you mentioned, Coach, earlier,
Rissler is going to shoot a lot of free throws for the South Putnam Eagles.
She shoots 80% this season. She is now 3 for 3
She'll make
today.
A lot of them too.
Yep. She's 3 for 3 today, and now make it 4 for 4. Almost the broadcaster's jinx right there.
Rolled that one in, despite you.
But she gets the friendly South Putnam gymnasium roll right there as a shot just flies up there for North Putnam. 2 seconds left, and they're going to get one more inbound here for the final second of this one as South Putnam will come away with their 7th victory on the season. They will move to 2-1 in conference play. That will move them up significantly in the conference standings in the Western Indiana Conference. And that does it here for game number 1 of 2 of this doubleheader. I want to give a shout out as well to Clara Pastelli. She was our player of the game today. She finishes with double figures scoring. And so Bill Finland, certainly an excellent win here for South Putnam here as now they go on to move on to face Brown County. 7-2 to start the season. That's a great way to move things along here through the first half.
Yeah, it really is. I think their coach was telling me before the game they feel like this is the first third of the season and they're kind of right where they want to be. So we'll see what happens from here. And if you're North Putt, you got some stuff to work on, and I'm sure they'll go back to the lab and figure a few of these turnover issues out.
So that'll do it for us here from this first game of this doubleheader. Endeavor Communications, a proud sponsor of today's broadcast. Internet speeds up to a gig. Find out more at weendeavor.com. Bill Fenlon, let's do it again here in a matter of moments with the boys. Can't wait.
Let's do it again. Maybe there's another brownie out there for us somewhere.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that. Final score again here, 56-39. South Putnam knocks off North Putnam in this one. You've been watching the North Putnam-South Putnam doubleheader here on the ISC Sports Network.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.